And I think that's really the destiny of the United States, is to be a power for good around the world. It certainly is. And we need to start looking up, don't we? We've been looking down at our cell phones for 30 years now, and I think space holds so many promises. Thank you for agreeing. I do. I do really believe that. Well, it's always been right, keeping it practical. Well, that's always been the challenge for me. In some ways, I'm always trying to be the Renaissance president, right? And creating a vision. At the same time, nothing's going to happen if it's not practical, nor can people really grasp it. And I think something I've really worked on is balancing those two spheres. So let's get started. This shouldn't take too long, probably 8 or 9 minutes. Peter, are we on a secured line? Thank you. Good. Okay. Okay, so part one of this vision involves creating something that I will be calling the Space Adventure Fund. Yes, the Space Adventure Fund is going to be taking the United States off of our dependency on debt and funding our economy through the selling of bonds on Wall Street. No, I'm no enemy of Wall Street. They could have a part in this, but a junior role, because essentially this fund that I'll be creating is going to be brokered through the U.S. Treasury over the counter. It's going to be very, very exciting. So I want you to imagine this, Mr. Ambassador. Rather than our banking system habitually purchasing debt, which puts us on the line for 30 years and creates an identity for our nation around us being a debtor, we're going to be creating an equity fund that's about something that is so exciting. It's about essentially the exploration of space, but more specifically about mining space for energy. And initially that will be done through solar extraction sent back here to the world by laser and replacing our antiquated power grids. Yes, isn't that exciting? So anyway, the Space Exploration Fund will be dedicated to that. The United States would be the majority shareholder, but nations around the world in a minority shareholding fashion will be able to invest in it, which will give them a vested interest in our country. That's very important. We want other countries rooting for our success, so we're going to be really in this together as a world. Well, thank you. You're very kind, and I do believe the United States has to lead this renaissance in space. I've often called space the now frontier. Very good, very good. So I want you to imagine that. There's a Space Adventure Fund. It's an equity fund that American citizens can invest in. Our banking system is going to be weaned off of buying bonds and instead investing in equity. And the concentration will be upon harnessing good, clean, infinite energy and bringing it back to the world. Good. Thank you again. And I do want other nations to benefit from this. To the degree that nations are investing in this fund, they should be rewarded incrementally, very much so. Okay, so the second part of this vision has something to do with how we peg our currency to something of value. Well, I used to be a teacher, and do you mind if I just give you a little bit of an overview of history? And I'll make this really quick. I won't get too nerdy, I promise. Yeah, I've learned that lesson. Well, essentially, for the last 100 years, since the beginning of the 20th century, the United States has been involved in funding its programs, its debt, its economy through the auctioning of bonds, and I mean more recently on Wall Street, of course, but the idea is that we sell our debt. And for a while, we're going to continue doing that. But slowly but surely, we need to return to a real value-based currency. Yes, it was gold until 1972, But the argument was always that a gold-backed currency didn't have the elasticity, and in a sense, we were in a sense, we were hamstrung by the gold commodity market and some of the difficulties involved in exploration and the politics and so forth. And that actually all has validity. So, right, it's going to be about space. So hold on to your chair. Are you ready for this? Okay, so in the process of extracting good, clean energy from space, there's always going to be what's called a byproduct whenever you create. Yes, as you extract the energy, there's going to be, in a sense, a souvenir, a token of that success, which in many cases may be something very, very beautiful, like a gem. In other cases, it may be in a gaseous state. But regardless of the state that it's in, it's going to be used as a metric, much like gold was to back our currency with something of real value. Now, imagine the motivation to be successful in space and to take the funding of the Space Adventure Fund and to make it really worth its weight in these byproducts. Yes, because we need to measure our success. So to the degree that we're bringing back these byproducts, the world will know that we're doing a good job. And those byproducts, which are material substances, can in turn be used to underpin our currency. Well, it's sort of it has two sides to it. And I think both sides are very, very necessary. The Space Adventure Fund creates this new role, this Renaissance leadership role for the United States, takes us off of this identity of being a purveyor of debt and rather a country that is founded upon equity and value. And what is more valuable than our exploration of the heavens? So it becomes a rallying cry for the world, a source of great wealth, and it's really infinite in its disposal. Correct, as infinite as space itself. The other part of the plan is to bring back the evidence of our success in something tangible, something beautiful, perhaps lustrous, perhaps, yes. Well, we're going to be discovering a lot of new science, and your imagination is probably quite fertile, and as is mine, in imagining some of the things that we're going to be bringing back as byproducts. But they'll be used as a metric, a measuring stick, a plumb line to underpin our currency, our US dollar. So the two are going to work together. Well, I do think gold could be part of our portfolio initially, but obviously over time I see us more and more moving toward the precious materials brought back from space to peg our currency, our dollar, correct. And don't worry about the McFadden Act, don't worry about Glass-Steagall. The United States Treasury has every legal right to engage in both. Well, I'm glad you like my plan, and I'll be addressing the nation very soon about this, and keep it under your hat because we're still we're working out the details, but I think we're off to a great start. Well, God bless you too, and I look forward to seeing you in Washington next week. Thank you very much. We'll be talking. Bye for now.